Let me read that? Okay. Hi guys, Rachel here from the Confused Millennial. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing a little toddler Halloween book haul. I also have a giant list of the top 100 best-selling Halloween books for babies, toddlers, and preschool and elementary school aged children. Leave a link to that in the description box below. Sharing with you guys some of the Halloween books that we've had since my daughter was a baby, some of the new ones we've added to our collection. Where's a bird? That's right, a bird. Also, make sure to go back and watch my KiwiCo Panda Crate review for the Count With Me box. In that video, I share this really simple and fun Montessori-inspired Dollar Tree hack to do with your books. So definitely won't want to miss that. First up, we have this little baby touch and feel Halloween book. I would say this is really good for babies all the way up to probably about 2.5 years old, maybe 3. There's not a lot of words on each page. Each page has kind of like a little sensory experience where they can feel different textures. This page has like a stickiness to it. This is great because it uses a mix of real life photos and graphic design or more toy elements. There's pictures of real children and real cats, but there's also like a mix of just some felt owl toys or graphic designed cauldron. My daughter is a big fan of this. It's got really chunky pages, so she walks around the house, she can flip it. Oh, obviously she can flip all of these by herself now, but for younger toddlers and older babies, they would be able to flip these pages by themselves. Definitely sturdy. I highly, highly recommend. The next book is Monsters Are Afraid of Babies. This was sent to me as a PR gift last year. Obviously, it's super well loved in our house. My daughter is a huge fan of it. There's very few words on each page, and all of the photos are kind of just funny. And the idea of the story is basically that monsters are afraid of babies. So the way they look, the way they smell, the way they creep around, make monsters want to cry. There's lots of moments for funny reaction. Easily point out what you're seeing. There's not a lot of words, so you're not like rushing through the book. We use it kind of very much as like an I spy a light switch, I spy a daddy, I spy a bed. I also think this is a good book for a toddler or like a young preschool age child who might be becoming a big brother or big sister or having a hard time with the transition, since it kind of pokes fun at all of the annoying things babies can do. Or if there's a baby in the house and one of your kids is nervous about monsters in their closet or under their bed, it could be a fun book to read together. The next book is Goodnight Goon, which is probably the most controversial book on this list. At least it was according to one of my family members who said that the pictures were super scary. I don't find the pictures to be very scary. I think most of the faces are very friendly, but I mean, I guess you could say that the werewolf face is kind of scary. It's a play on Goodnight Moon, but using all Halloween themed items. So each page only has a couple words on it. Again, we use this very much as an I spy. So when we get to the part about mummies rubbing their tummies, we rub our tummies, point out what a shoe is. We practice the word boo for our B sounds when we get to the werewolf, pointing out bats and brooms and hats and all of that good stuff. My daughter has had this book since she was like 8 or 9 months old. She's now 21 months. She has not had any problems with it. I felt comfortable giving it to her, but just so you know, some parents might think that babies and toddlers, this is too young for this book. There's also a lot of moments for really funny voices and just acting things out, which my daughter loves. The next book is A Room on the Broom. This is a new one we added this year. It definitely is more of a story than any of the books we've talked about before. There's a lot of words on each page. It rhymes though, so my daughter, it can hold her attention. I can read all the words on the pages most days. We point out the different things on the pages like hat, dog, cat. Again, where's the witch's hat? Yeah, that's right, that's her hat. Where's her cat? That's right, the cat. And it's a really sweet story. There is kind of what some people might consider like a scary moment with a dragon on some of the pages. I felt totally comfortable with it, and it taught a really sweet lesson that when friends come together, they can beat any obstacle in their way. So I like the moral of this story. I liked the rhyming, and it's a good I Spy book too. Next is the Legend of the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So I got this one for her when she was 8 or 9 months. She really had little to no interest in it really though until she was about 16 months old. So even though these are Halloween books, we do keep them like in her book storage, and she can go ahead and swap out books that she chooses whenever. Each page has a lot of words and there's no rhyming. Definitely a struggle to hold a toddler's attention, definitely a struggle to hold a baby's attention. It holds her attention. She can sit through the full story now, but it's not like the most fun book to read. It's definitely my least favorite book on this list. Now she likes this book a lot more. I think that has more to do with Snoopy, and she also really likes the hearts on the page with Sally. Every time we get to it, she points at the hearts. But I have a personal issue with this book because I don't believe in good or bad being a defining characteristic of a person as a whole. For example, yes, people do good or bad things, like certain actions are mistakes, certain actions are right or wrong or good or bad, and that's an important concept to teach our kids. But when it gets to the idea of bring presents to all the good little boys and girls, oh, well, you ate all the cookies at dinner, now you're a bad boy, and the great pumpkin's not gonna bring you presents, like that just doesn't fly in our house, personally. I think all boys and girls are good. Like, I think they're all good. Yes, they may make mistakes, yes, they might mess up, but those actions don't define us as people as a whole. So that's like a personal thing I have in my own parenting, where I'm very cognizant of which dualities, meaning right or wrong, good or bad, I'm teaching my daughter. I don't like it when they're generalized. You know, other examples of this coming up, my daughter was collecting trash on the beach and she threw it out in the trash can when we got up from the beach. And I said, thank you, but one of the family members said, good girl. And I was like, well, we don't say that for that. You know, yes, the action was good, but it doesn't define her as a girl, because what, next time she doesn't pick up trash on the beach, she's a bad girl? That type of duality is just what I'm very like super aware of, especially during these times of 2020, where people are making big assumptions and big generalizations based off of singular isolated incidents. I think that's one of the things that we have to work on as a society, and that I am looking to parent out of my daughter, especially as somebody that is recovering from anxiety and depression and self-esteem issues, because I was told things like, oh, you're such a good girl when you're quiet. I had a really hard time when I didn't want to be quiet, breaking free of, well, does that mean I'm a bad girl now? So I just kind of try to avoid labeling things as good and bad. Again, yes, I'm teaching good and bad. Yes, I'm teaching right or wrong to instill a moral compass. I'm just being very cognizant and selective about when I'm using those terms, and having a dialogue around her in her presence. Obviously she's not talking now, about these types of things. So like in exchange with family members and something had happened, I said they made a mistake, they did something bad, they're here taking responsibility for it, we're talking it out, we're moving forward. So like having those types of conversations where it's not good or bad as a permanent state of being. I hope that makes sense. Make sure to hit that notification subscribe button so you don't miss my November toddler book haul or the November toddler activities that I'm doing. In the meantime, feel free to catch up on the Halloween toddler activities I did with my daughter. Another one we recently did with her. Idea from my friend Callie at the First Coffee. We went ahead and got some stickers on some pumpkins, and she had a total blast with that one afternoon. I would love to hear what your favorite Halloween books are for reading with your toddlers or kids. Drop me a comment with them. I also have a list of 100 Halloween books for babies, toddlers, and young children, so elementary school age. I will leave a link to that in the description box below. I'm Rachel. You guys can find me on Instagram at Confused Millennial.